telephone in recess of the council. Yep. I'd like to call the Senate to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Barnett, Barrett, Blackman, Blackwell, Blunt, Boyd, Branning, Bryan, Butler, Carter, Kaufman, Chazanall, Chisholm, DeBar, Delano, England, Fillingham, Frazier, Harkins, Hill, Hobson, Horn, Jackson of 11, Jackson of 32nd, Johnson, Jordan, Kirby, McCollum, McDaniel, McLendon, McMahon, Michelle, Moran, Norwood, Parker, Parks, Pope, Seymour, Simmons of the 12th, Simmons of the 13th, Sojourner, Sparks, Suber, Tate, Thomas, Thompson, Turner, Ford, Whaley, Wiggins, Williams, Witherspoon, Younger. Mr. President, a quorum is present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Will senators please rise? The invocation given by Senator John Horn be followed by a pledge of allegiance led by Senator Sampson Jackson. Senator Horn.
Thank you, Governor. Won't you pray with me? Dear Lord, today is the first full day that commences another milestone in the United States of America's journey. And as we face these uncertain times in our nation and the world, we ask you, Lord, to dwell among us. We are comforted by the knowledge that you alone are our Savior and Lord and the ultimate master of life. We trust our nation to your loving care, Lord. Send your Spirit to touch the lives and the hearts of our nation's leaders and its citizens. Give them the wisdom to know what is right and the courage to do what is right. Give us your light and your truth to guide us in our ways so that we may seek your will in our lives and impact the world around us for your kingdom. Bless our leaders in Mississippi, that we might finally hew a path that cuts through the wilderness of indifference and privilege and imbalance, that we might walk into a giant meadow of cooperation and equity and opportunity for all. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Senators. Good job, John.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, Senator Blackwell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to dispense with the reading of the journal.
Senator moves to dispense with the reading of the journal. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Messages and petitions, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. President, there are none.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Committee reports, Senator Blackwell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to dispense with the reading of the committee reports.
Senator moves to dispense with the reading of the committee reports. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Next, the reading of titles, bills, and resolutions. Senator Blackwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to dispense with the reading of the bills and resolutions.
Senator moves to dispense with the reading of titles of bills and resolutions. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Introductions. Any introductions from the Senate? Any introductions? We'll move to the calendar. Does the chairman wish to bring up an item on the calendar? Senator DeBar, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Call up item 21 on the calendar. Have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill number 2001, teacher salaries, provide for increase.
Make the usual motions.
Senator makes the usual motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Bill 2001 is a mirror bill to one we passed last year unanimously. It is the teacher pay raise. It will raise teacher salaries by $1,000. It will raise teacher assistants pay by $1,000, therefore going from $14,000 to $15,000. But it will also increase the starting pay for a new teacher with 0 to 3 years of experience to $37,000, which is approximately $1,110 increase. And so our starting pay would be $37,000, increasing teacher pay and teacher assistant pay $1,000 as well. And with that, I'll yield for any questions.
Questions on the bill? Questions on the bill? Seeing none, Senator, you're recognized.
Ask for passage by use of the morning roll call.
Seeing no other questions, use of the morning roll call has been suggested for final passage. Any objections to the procedure? Anyone wish to be recorded as voting no? Simmons? Senator Simmons, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Permission to be added as co-author at the appropriate time, Mr. President.
This is the appropriate time. Senator Simmons. Anyone else? Anyone who does not want to be a co-author, please raise your hand. We're going to take the vote. Bill having been passed, we'll now go to those who would like to be recorded as co-author. Anyone who would not want to be co-author? Anyone who would not? Seeing none, it is unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ask the remaining education bills retain their place on the calendar.
Retain their place on the calendar. Thank you. We'll move back to the calendar. Does anyone else have an item to bring up on the calendar? On the calendar. Any senators have announcements to make? Any announcements from the senator? Senator Wiggins, for what purpose?
Couple announcements, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Thank you. I have a couple announcements. Judiciary A will not meet today. Our next meeting our standing meeting is at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, except that meeting will be at 10:30, right after adjournment on Tuesday. So Judiciary A next meeting will be right after adjournment on Tuesday. Next, on Monday at 3 p.m. on the Appropriations Subcommittee for Corrections will be meeting in room 216, and that is Senator Hobson, Jackson, Polk, and Tate, and that's Department of Corrections, will be testifying on the budget at 3 p.m. on Monday.
Thank you, Senator. Got that, Mr. Clerk? Senator Parks, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Announcement at the appropriate time.
Please proceed.
Today, the Appropriations Subcommittee Number 2, IHL, will meet at 3 o'clock in room 210. That is Bart Williams, Senator Barr, Senator Simmons, and Senator Hobson.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Hobson, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Announcement and adjournment in memory.
Please proceed.
Thank you. With respect to the adjournment, when we adjourn today, I ask that we do so in memory of Wade Spruill. Wade is from Hattiesburg, and he is one of the founders of our trauma system in Mississippi. Has done a lot of good for our state. And also, as to an announcement, we will not have our appropriations meeting this morning at 10:30. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Horn, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Announcement.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to remind the members of the Hinds County delegation that you've received a memorandum inviting you to a Zoom call with Commissioner Simmons this Monday at 3 o'clock. We will have the Zoom call set up for members that are in the building down in room 216. You can come there and sit in on the Zoom call there, or you can do it from your device wherever you are. It's at 3 o'clock on Monday.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Norwood, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Announcement, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, the Judiciary Appropriation Subcommittee will meet today at 1:30 in room 210. That's Senators Brandon, DeBar, Seymour, and Senator Hobson. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Harkins, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. President. Announcement. The Senate Finance Committee will not meet today at standing committee time.
Thank you, Senator Harkins. Senator Seymour, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Adjourn in memory.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, I'd like for the Senate to adjourn in memory of Mr. Ernest Dale Rivers, and also myself and Senator England would like for the Senate to adjourn in memory of Mr. Mose Mallet.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Wiggins, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Correction on the announcement. Appropriations Subcommittee will meet at 3 o'clock on Monday in room 409, and that's where the Department of Corrections will present. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wiggins. Okay. Senator Michelle, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Announcement, please, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed.
The Rules Committee will meet in room 313 at 10:30.
313 at 10:30, Mr. Clerk. Other announcements. Other announcements. Mr. Clerk, please read the meetings.
Appropriations will not meet this morning. The Appropriations Subcommittee number 6 will meet at 1:30 p.m. today in room 210. Rules will meet upon recess 10:30 in room 313. The Finance Committee will not meet today. Appropriations Subcommittee number 2 will meet in room 210 today at 3 p.m. And Judiciary Division A will not meet today. On Monday, Appropriations Subcommittee number 4 will meet in room 409 at 3 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Senator Butler, for what purpose do you seek recognition?
Announcement, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed.
The Senate Original Special Fund Subcommittee will meet on Tuesday, January the 26th, and we will meet at 10:30 with the Board of Pharmacy, at 10:45 with the General Examiners, and at 11 o'clock the Board License Examiner. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Butler. Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Senator Barnett, for what purpose do you seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. President. Announcement.
Please proceed.
Thank you. I just want to remind the members of the Corrections Committee that we will hold our first meeting on Tuesday. I think it's at 1 o'clock on Tuesday, but we will post and I'll let you all know on Monday. But we will meet on Tuesday, and I'm asking all members of that committee to please wear your mask when in attendance at the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Barnett. Senator Jordan, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Announcement, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Thank you, sir. Drug Policy Committee will meet at in room 215 at 1 o'clock on Tuesday.
Thank you, Senator.
Yes, sir.
Senator McMahon, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Announcement.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, thank you. Just want to remind my colleagues, be sure to get any local and private legislation to drafting in the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
Senator Tate, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Announcement.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to announce that the Elections Committee will meet Tuesday in room 210 at 2 p.m.
Thank you, Senator. Any other announcements? I'd like to remind the senators, if you post your agenda on the website and on the door leading in to the ones that are videoed, we are able to exclude other people from coming in as they can watch it live and meet the open records requirements by watching it live on live stream. As you know, we are challenged in the Senate again with COVID. 2 of our members have so succumbed to that illness and possibly another. I would strongly encourage you to post your notices and socially distance in the meeting that we are web streaming so that we will not have other individuals in those meetings that may either transmit or acquire COVID-19. Please pay attention. Senator Blackwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move we stand in recess subject to call of the chair.
Stand in recess, subject to the call of the chair. The chair indicates this will be approximately 1 hour. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it.
that wants to speak on behalf of a bill. As we said, we'd have live broadcast in 409 and 216. One item that rules has asked that you would please do is, we ask you, if you don't have a time-sensitive resolution, to please hold off on that right now. If there's something that you really need the Rules Committee to get together, we're all going to be so busy. If you could wait on that, we would really appreciate that. That would be a great help. I think I've covered most of that. I'd be glad to yield to any questions that you might have. Again, you'll be encouraged to have your meetings. We'll be very busy. Those two rooms will be very busy. One other item we want to mention is, because we're trying to limit the meetings to the two rooms that have the internet access, is we really, if there's any way, if you've got a small committee and you intend to bring up just 4 or 5 bills, it would be a great help if you could bring those up in that one committee meeting, because those two rooms will certainly have another committee waiting on the rooms to use once you complete your business of your committee meeting. Mr. President, I'll be glad to yield to any questions.
Thank you, Senator. We have some questions here. Did you address compensation?
Yes, the compensation, of course, for members of the Senate would be the same as normal. You come here and you check in, so you're credited for being here for the day. If you don't feel comfortable going to the committee meeting, as you know, you've made the morning roll call, so you're credited for being here for the day.
And then on voting in the event that you're on Zoom?
The Zoom meetings, we're going to be working all weekend on making sure that the access for Zoom is, so if you check in, we need you to check in on the personally, if you could, to the committee meeting to get us a quorum. And if you go to Zoom and you want to ask questions by way of Zoom in the committee, those two committee meeting rooms, because remember, those are the only ones where we have the multimedia access, then you'd be able to, if you don't feel comfortable being in the room, you'd be able to ask your questions from the Zoom out. But if you think about it, that room is very large, the Supreme Court Chamber 216, and we can spread out in there much better than we are in here. So if you feel comfortable, then it wouldn't be any different than a normal committee meeting room. It's just that we will be spreading way out, and we will encourage all chairmen to please make sure that you conduct the business where everyone is cognizant of everyone else's health, and that you ask your members to spread out.
Okay, and so on voting, Mr. Chairman, if you're voting from Zoom, will you contact the chairman with your vote?
Yes, you would. Okay, so the Zoom, you would be able to vote by way of Zoom. That's why it would work a lot smoother if you were literally in the room. But and we're trying to prevent any kind of freeze up from, everybody's participated in a Zoom meeting where there have been difficulties. We all admit that. So it would obviously be better if you were in the room and socially distanced. But however, you will be allowed to vote by way of Zoom in committee meeting rooms, and if you don't feel comfortable in being in that room.
Okay, Senator Horn, for what purpose do you seek recognition?
Question.
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator, you yield?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So if a member attends a committee meeting via Zoom, but the member has not come to the Capitol to check in, they're in Tupelo, would that person be counted as present by virtue of his attending the Zoom committee meeting?
No.
Okay, so in order to be checked in, you actually have to physically come to the Capitol, and then you can sequester wherever you like.
Yes.
And feel comfortable.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, can you describe to us what's going on with the House, what actions they've taken in regard to this matter?
We've heard several ideas that they're going to bounce around. They don't go into session till 2 o'clock today, so I would encourage everybody to log in on YouTube. At the last discussion, they were considering some Zoom alternatives as well that we don't really have all the details to.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Wiggins, for what purpose do you seek recognition?
Just a question.
Will you yield for a question, Senator?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you for the Rules Committee for what y'all are doing on this. There may be those of us who aren't like that tech savvy, like Senator DeBar or somebody like that. So this question is, So who will be running the Zoom meeting during the committee meetings? Because if you expect some of us chairmen to do that, I think we may be in for a long day in those meetings, so.
No, our IT department, our IT services, and then we're going to solicit the help of Mississippi Public Broadcasting, who helped us a lot on our hearings this summer.
Okay, so just, so the chairman can just conduct their meetings, and the Zoom will be handled by those folks, is that right?
Yes, and I would say that if you have any fear that the Zoom meeting may not be operated properly, we all know that there could be technological problems could arise, then I would attend the meeting. But if you don't feel comfortable, you're not required to be there. But we would ask you to check in to get the quorum. But I can promise you the social distancing in room 216 on just about all of our committees will be better than what we're experiencing right here on the floor right now.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wiggins. Senator Simmons, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Question, Mr. President.
Will you yield for a question, Senator?
Yes, sir.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator, you will yield?
Yes, sir.
My question, I had the same question Senator Horn had, but as an expansion on what Senator Wiggins just raised, he spoke more to the chairmans with the technology. Was there any consideration to the fact that some of our members who are more vulnerable to COVID may not want to come to the building, but they also may be challenged regarding technology? Was it any consideration of what, if anything, could be done if that member decided to remain at home, but they would like to participate? Would it be a number or something? Would they be able to call to help them be able to participate in the committee meetings because they have elected not to come to the building because they are in a vulnerable population regarding the disease?
Yes, sir. Well, we don't have a phone number. That would create an additional set of problems, probably to have a phone connection. We think the Zoom is the best feature. It will also be on YouTube. By posting the bills the day before, all members will know what bills are going to be brought up, and so they'll have an opportunity to study the bills, read the bills, and if they did not feel comfortable, even if you wanted to go back to the days of the fax machine, you'd be able to fax an amendment to the chairman if you so wanted to offer. We all have, of course, email. You could email your chairman. I would encourage you, if you email something to the chairman, that you follow up by telephone to make sure they received it. But you could transmit an amendment by way of email or text. Certainly, the chairman, if you text an amendment, make sure it's timely received. Don't be doing it because of delays. You know, it could create a problem if you did it right in the middle of the meeting, but it'd be better if you did it beforehand. And I really think most of our members are going to participate. We have a very good turnout today of people who are here, and hopefully we'll get some better direction when the House meets today. We've heard some positive things about possibly a recess, but at this point we don't have any assurances, and they don't go into session till 2 o'clock today. So when we come back Monday, we could have a better update for you. We're doing the best we can with knowing that next week's going to be a very busy week.
My last question or comment, Senator Michelle, is that a lot of members in this body, of course, agreed with leadership that the best course in light of what we were dealing with was to suspend the session. And I do understand that the resolution will have to start over to the House, so we really have to wait on them to make the decision to agree with that. But I guess my comment is that a lot of members have said it was not a matter of if we will have an outbreak, it was a matter of when. And I guess my concern is, even in light of what we are doing now regarding the rules, nothing about what is being proposed changes the possibility of an outbreak. And this may be above, well, I know for a fact it's above my pay grade, above your pay grade, but I will only hope that those efforts will continue to try to do the right thing if we still can handle the people's business by passing a budget before the end of the year and allow opportunity for members to fully participate in the process by being here. Because my concern is anytime we start changing the way we do our work we not effectively representing our people, because as you know, who has been in this body longer than I have, it's more valuable when we can fully participate in the traditional way. And when that is taken away from us, then I believe we're not really fully representing our people like we could if we would fully suspend the session and come back and just work and take care of the people's business the traditional way.
Yes. Senator Simmons, the Lieutenant Governor, was on record multiple times suggesting that we come in the first week, work a couple of days on mandatory items and recess to give everybody an opportunity. We now see the vaccines are becoming more and more available. There was just a third company that came out with the vaccine. I thought it was an excellent idea. Unfortunately, it takes both chambers to agree on something. I would encourage you to meet with your counterpart that serves in the House and help them to see the light.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your leadership, and I certainly thank the Lieutenant Governor for his leadership. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Barnett, for what purpose you seek recognition? He's good. Okay. Senator Turner, for what purpose do you seek recognition?
Question, Mr. President.
We yield for a question, Senator.
Yes.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Senator. During some conversations that I've had with Dr. Dobbs in the past, I think I remember him saying that as it relates to a nursing home facility, one positive case is considered as an outbreak. Has there been any guidance on what would be considered to be an outbreak in the chambers?
I was told yesterday from Dr. Dobbs that in a classroom setting, as an example, in a school, if there's, I believe it's 3, if there's 3 outbreaks, then they consider that an outbreak. 3 cases, they consider that an outbreak, and they literally ask the school, I don't know if he has the power to shut it down or make them go work on Zoom, go offer classes on Zoom. Dr. Dobbs is on record also, again, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I have heard him say this, that he thinks that it would be better if we were not, there's 50 or 60, 70 people in this one room right now congregated. Our Lieutenant Governor said he thought it was smart that we recess and come back in a couple of months. We can certainly get the work done. It would be wonderful if everybody had an opportunity to get both the first vaccine and the second vaccine, a period of time to do that. We could do our work, and quite honestly, I won't put words into Senator Hobson's mind, but it would probably help him also on his budgeting if we were here in April rather than right now. He would have some other numbers if we had to recess and come back at another time.
Thank you. I'll certainly reach out to my colleagues from my area in the House.
That's the impediment right now, is that the other chamber who is charged with the suspension resolution to recess is not in a mode to do that right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Norwood. For what purpose?
Question, Mr. President.
We yield for a question, sir. He's up there, Walter. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. President. Are there any, I may have missed this, when will this be effective?
When we come back Monday, the process that I just mentioned is how we'll be conducting committee meetings until the deadline, committee deadline.
Okay. Now, should individuals decide to come in, will someone be monitoring the number of persons coming in, and once we get to a capacity, shut it down at that point so nobody else could come in and advise them of the alternatives? I'm not talking about committee members. I'm talking about should someone come in from the lobbyists or other advocates, anyone that get in.
Into the committee meeting?
Yes.
The chairman will have the prerogative to limit access to that committee meeting to members only, and anyone who that chairman feels is necessary to maybe offer advice on a particular legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Barnett, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Question, Mr. President.
We yield for a question, Senator.
Yes.
Please proceed.
Senator Michelle, thank you for the information that you have provided this body this morning. And delivering that information, you stated twice, maybe more, that we should contact our colleagues on the other side to express our concern. So my question is, and this may be something that we cannot do, but instead of all of us individually talking to our counterparts on the other side. Is there any way possible that a letter can be drafted that those of us who wanted to sign off on it could sign off on it, to be sent over to the House expressing our concerns over how we should adjourn to a later day?
Yes, sir. You do that. You know, and I really think it'd be very effective. Your House member who represents your Senate district, they're probably going to be in this building around 1 o'clock today, or before they go in at 2, and personal visit would be good as well. I'll get with the Lieutenant Governor and the other members of the Rules Committee about a letter, but I'm afraid when we recess and go home for the weekend, I'll have difficulty getting enough the senators, corralling the senators to sign that letter.
If I may, could you now, while we're here, ask for a show of hands of those who would like to sign off on that letter, get those names recorded. Those that do not, then you'll have to, so therefore you don't have to try and reach out over the weekend or whenever that letter may be drafted to get those particular signatures or those particular senators to agree or not to agree?
You're asking for a show of hands of the senators who would support a letter to be sent to the Speaker of the House requesting a recess. Of course, there's the devil's in the details as to how long the recess is, but a recess to go home and come back at a time certain, similar to what we did last year.
That's exactly what I'm asking. In addition to that letter going to the Senate, to just the Speaker of the House, we know that information, we show up at our desk on a regular basis. There's information on our particular desk. And I think that if we could send a letter directly to the Speaker, as well as has a letter placed on each representative's desk with those individuals who are asking for this, I think it would show them, because we may or may not get an opportunity to see our House members when they come in.
I think that'd be a decision the Rules Committee could make. I know you obviously could text your member, obviously before you even leave today, you could text them. That would help. As far as that would be an issue Rules Committee could get together with the Lieutenant Governor and make that decision. Thank you.
But again, my question is, if it's okay by the Rules Committee, since you all would probably meet after we leave today, is that you ask for the show of hands prior to that, so you will already have those individuals recorded. And I start by raising my hand.
Well, Senator, I understand about a show of hands, but you're wanting names on there as well. Possibly we could follow up with text once we have a letter drafted, to where each member would have an opportunity to know exactly what's in the letter, because I know we have some people who may be in favor of recessing for 2 weeks, or on the other hand, some people may want to wait much longer till both shots are administered, vaccines. Until we have the details, I would hate to ask for a vote on that.
Thank you.
Senator Horn, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Follow-up question.
Will you yield, Senator?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Michelle, you mentioned that the general public, lobbyists, advocates could access YouTube to watch our proceedings. Would Zoom access be made available to lobbyists, advocates, and the general public if they wanted to dial into the Zoom call?
No, the Zoom would be for the members actually to ask questions and to be available to vote.
Okay, so no non-members nor staff of the Capitol would be able to access the Zoom proceedings?
They would watch on the YouTube live feature.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Senator Wiggins, for what purpose you seek recognition?
Question.
Please proceed.
Thank you. So I'm curious, this whatever's being discussed about delaying the session, has there been any, if that should occur, has there been any discussion and rules about the compensation that will need to be given to those of us who have leases, who are paying rent and things like that for the 3 months, and the things that we will have to address should we have to put the session off? Is the Senate and the rules going to pay for that? Is that going to be addressed as a regular, will we be compensated for having to incur these extra days and cover the things that go along with that, because I think as everyone knows, we are a citizen legislature, people have jobs, people have things like that, and accommodations have to be made.
Senator, we don't have a suspension resolution before you to recess for a period of time. What rules met on was how we think we can best conduct business next week to be in the healthiest of environments, knowing that we have a couple of members with COVID and a couple on quarantine. So that process basically is under control of the House of Representatives, and that the resolution must start with them. So we haven't gone down that route yet.
Okay, and I didn't think so. So what you've provided to us seems reasonable under the circumstances, and has taken precautions into consideration, social distancing, and continuing the business of the people. It seems fair what y'all have done. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Parker, were you fine? Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you, Senator. There's no vote needed on this. Thank you and the Rules Committee for your good work. As Senator Simmons indicated prior to the start of the session, we requested a postponement to allow vaccinations and others to occur and to hopefully avoid exactly what has happened to the Senate. She also adequately described that motion must come from the House and has not as of this moment. You should assume that I proceeded down that course again as recently as yesterday. And at this particular point in time, have not received a favorable response. That being said, some of you will receive quarantine notices. To reiterate what is to be accomplished, currently the protocol as provided by the Department of Health and Dr. Dobbs is that you are absent 5 days from the day in which you believe you were exposed. The individuals, at least 2 of the individuals that we know, were here on Monday afternoon and Tuesday, and were not here afterwards. So 5 days would run, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you would have to have a negative test on Monday. If you are not feeling the effects of COVID, which are horrific, I can personally add to, if you're not feeling the effects of COVID and you have a negative test when we come back in on Monday, you are welcome to the Senate under the procedures that the Rules Committee has now instituted. If you are feeling ill, we would strongly encourage you not to be here. Obviously, if your test is positive, you would not be able to return. That process goes on, I believe, for 10 days after that period in which you would be in quarantine. Those procedures are outlined on the Department of Health's website, and our Secretary of the Senate and our staff will provide each of you with those by email this afternoon so that you can all see it again. Anything else? Anything else? I'm sorry, Senator Jordan, you're recognized for what purpose?
I have a question, Mr. President.
Please proceed, Senator Jordan.
I've had the first dosage of the vaccine and scheduled for the next one on 28th. So, since if I've had the first one and test negative, what you have just indicated, does that apply to the ones who have had the first vaccine?
It does. One of our members had the vaccine some week or so ago and still contacted COVID.
Okay. That's my question. Thank you, sir.
That does not mean that you are immune, unfortunately, does not mean that you are immune from catching it, and that is the case with one of our senators. Anyone else? Senator Horn, for what purpose?
I just want some clarity, Mr. President. In your latest statements, are you suggesting that all members and staff need to go out and get tested between now and Monday?
That's up to the individual senators. What I'm telling you is some of you will receive notices that you have been given as a name for someone who was contacted in the normal progression that the Department of Health does when I had it and when anyone else has it. If they give a name, you receive a notice saying that you have to be quarantined for so many days and whatnot. The protocol is if you get that notice, that you go Monday and get tested before you can come in on Monday when Senator Blackwell makes his motion. If you have not received that notice, you can get tested at your leisure or whenever you think it's appropriate.
Okay, but if a couple of our members have come down with the virus and they were here over the course of the last few days, isn't it reasonable to think that we all probably need to get tested?
It is, Senator, and I would encourage you to do so.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, anyone else? Senator McClendon.
Thank you, sir. What if some of us have had the antibody test and have tested positive for the antibodies? Do we have to go through this routine again?
The routine that I described to you was if you get a notice from the Department of Health that you have been one of the persons named as a contact for at least 2 of our senators who have now responded positively to their COVID test. So that's the routine that I'm speaking of. It does not apply to you unless you have received that notice. Senator Horn's request was, shouldn't we all get tested? That's a positive thing that I'll leave up to each senator. But if you have gotten the notice that you have to quarantine, the only way you can come back to the Senate is in the effect that you get a test on Monday that is proven negative. Now, at least one member of the Senate has received that, and I anticipate other senators will as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Senator Blackwell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate stand in recess until 5 p.m. today, at which time the Journal will show we are adjourned until 4 p.m. Monday, January 25th.
Sir moves we stand in recess until 4 p.m. Journals remain open. The Senate stand in recess till 4 p.m. on Monday. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you.